Football Fridays, great initiative.
Yeah.
Where did it all come about?
Paul mentioned March. It was probably February, March. I was actually having a chat with Jabu Mabuza, who's our group CEO, and we were talking about, if you remember February, March, there was quite a bit of negativity in the country surrounding lack of advertising, what momentum was happening toward Confed Cup, what's happening with 2010, you know. And interestingly enough, then the MTN campaign broke and everybody's campaign started to break. And we were just chatting and I kind of said to him, you know, we've got to start doing something ourselves. And I was in the shower and I do a lot of thinking in the shower. And I thought, you know, what a simple way is let's just get everybody to wear a shirt to work. And what we started, we didn't start with everybody in a Bafana shirt because I wanted to create an environment of interaction between employees and between guests and employees. So we encouraged everybody to wear any football shirt of their own choice. So some people will be wearing a Pirates shirt, Sundowns, Liverpool, Man United, Barcelona, and what it did, it created vibe and it created interaction, which was my primary objective. And then Paul, as Paul rightly said, we were chatting in a dialogue and I just said, listen, I'm sick and tired of the negativity that's happening in this country. And we're doing this for ourselves and it just mushroomed from there.
In your opinion, how can corporate South Africa get involved? And is corporate South Africa getting involved to the extent that you would like to see?
Yeah, it's slow. It started slowly. When Paul and I first spoke about it, he asked, can we take this initiative and expand it into corporate South Africa? I said, by all means. This is not intended to be a Southern Sun initiative. It's just intended to build up some momentum and hype towards 2010. I was with Brian Joffe at his Bidvest function a few weeks ago, and he said he's starting that with his group, with Bidvest United and Bidvest Wits United, and so it's starting to gather momentum. SA Tourism have embraced it. A couple of other corporates are starting. So, and I think with the LOC's weight behind it, I think it'll gather even more momentum.
So this is the challenge. It's been set for corporate South Africa to really gain that enthusiasm and the momentum ahead of the World Cup.
Yeah, Darren, but it's not just simply about putting on a jersey.
Yeah, it's about embracing the vibe.
Exactly. This is about, you know, I walk every Friday, I have it, like today, I have a jersey on and I walk in around the streets and I was at the airport last Friday. I was flying to Durban. And in the business class lounge and the guy's making teas, hey, Bafana. And so it starts creating, he says 2010, we're going to be ready, That's what it's about. So it's about corporates spreading the message of what 2010 can be for our country. For our group and our industry, it's even more important.
Sure.
Because as Paul mentioned on that clip, the more people that act as ambassadors for our country, the better inbound tourism will be, the more jobs created, the better chance of alleviating poverty in our country through our industry. So it's a very simple message.
So it's about talking up the country
100%.
Essentially. All right. Let's move on to some of the investments that Southern Sun is currently embarking on for 2010 and over the next 4 years, 1.3 billion rand investments. Tell us a little bit about some of the developments. Yeah,
we're opening Southern Sun Hyde Park next week on top of Hyde Park Shopping Centre. We're opening Southern Sun Monte Casino in May next year. We're opening a Garden Court Hotel in Umhlanga, right near the Gateway Shopping Centre, right near the Sharksport. That's in May next year. Stay Easy Midlands Mall at Pietermaritzburg in May next year. So those are 4 key properties that are coming out the ground as we speak, and a couple opening very soon. And then we've got a substantial reinvestment going on in our existing hotels. Refurbishments happening in all our key properties. That'll take us up to 2010, but 2010 and beyond. You know, we have very much a 5-year view as to what how our business looks and how our properties will look in 5 years' time. So it's about reinvestment in our existing properties, and it's the opening of the 4 now before 2010. And then we've got plans to open 1 or 2 hotels every year thereafter.
I think, Graham, that's a key point. Is it what's happening after 2010? Because a lot of people think about 2010 and that's it. It's really about leaving a legacy and sustainability afterwards. And from what I can hear, Southern Sun is embarking on that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Darren, anybody who has a notion that I'm opening a hotel to benefit from 2010 is in for a rude awakening, because a substantial investment, you know, a 200-room hotel, 4-star hotel is going to cost you 350 to 400 million. It's a substantial investment in a particular location. So it's not about 5 weeks. I think after 2010, the industry is going to struggle a bit to find its feet. When I say find its feet, there's a lot of supply going into the market. So I think the industry is going to have to jostle. Occupancies will take a knock as the supply starts to get eaten up with hopefully a slight growth in demand. But I think as a global recovery starts to take shape and our industry starts to grow and demand grows, and hopefully again off the back of the 2010 World Cup, I think the supply and demand should balance itself out quite nice. So I think we certainly see a positive upturn for the industry in the years to come.
Perfect. Graham, we've seen a year of sporting events, the RPL, the British Lions Rugby Tour, Confed Cup. Yeah. Has Southern Sun used this as a precursor for 2010, as a trial run, be it as it may?
Absolutely. I mean, I think let's turn to IPL first. IPL came in 3 weeks.
Yes.
We were the official hotel group to IPL. So we had to mobilize operationally, logistically, etc. in 3 weeks, which was a great test for us, which we managed to do. We had a couple of challenges, but we, by and large, I think we did ourselves and the industry and the country proud. Then British Lions came. What is interesting about British Lions was we haven't had a surge of concentrated visitors into our country for a long period of time. Probably the last time would have been 95 World Cup. And the Lions Tour was massive. 50,000 people coming, all converging on all our hotels, not only us, but all our colleagues in the hotel industry, and we learned some great lessons.
Yeah.
All our bars were running out of beer, and we didn't have enough satellite bars, and all those sort of small logistical things, but are big issues for us trying to run hotels. What was very interesting with us was that we had the mix of British Lions and Confed Cup. So we had the challenge of managing logistics across 2 events within our hotels, which we learned a hell of a lot of invaluable lessons. But we've taken a lot of knowledge out of the Lions Tour in particular, because you could take the Lions Tour and magnify it 8 to 10 times. Simple maths, 50,000 to 500,000.
Yeah.
So can you imagine the challenge we're going to be under for 5 weeks? But we'll be ready. We have to be, and we will be. There's no doubt.
Well, it sounds like it. Just lastly, before we take a break, the recession, it's affected all sectors, all industries, all companies. How much has it had an effect on Southern Sun and the developments going forward?
Look, there's no doubt that in the first 5 months, 6 months of the calendar year, we were relatively lucky because we had the British Lions and the events you spoke about. Some reality has set in as an industry. Since then, August, September will continue, and through to the end of the year will continue to be tough. Occupancies are off, but we certainly believe that as we get into 2010, the beginning part of 2010, with some accelerated momentum towards the World Cup, we should start to see some marginal growth on the prior year.